All right. Good to see y'all here. How y'all doing tonight? Today, this morning, April 2024. Ah. All right. So, the question that I put out was, if I told you how to succeed faster, would you want to know? So, what I thought that I would do is get some of the newer people that are having success selling and recruiting, and building. So what I would judge as good sales is if you're investing money, if you're investing a couple of $100 or $500 a week, you got some expenses. We got to be making money. A lot of people think about $1,000 per hundred. So at $500, you should be producing about $5,000. So it's a statistics and analysis. So it's funny too, because a lot of people talk about recruiting people that are in sales, when in fact, a lot of the people that were very successful with us were they were engineers or more mechanical people, not salespeople, just workers. So statistics or analytics. So when people say, well, he's doing really, really good. Well, if he's spending $1,000 a week and only making 1,000, that's a problem. You see what I'm saying? So I want to see people making money so they can pay their bills. It's a lot of interesting things going on when you talk about people's money. So I've got guests on here. I'm thinking, we've got Olivia and Julius. So Olivia, can you open up your mic and say hello?
Hi, Andy. How are you?
I'm doing great. And you?
I'm doing good. Happy to be here.
Where are you today?
I am in South Florida. I'm in Palm Beach. And then tomorrow I'll be in Raleigh.
Can't wait to see you.
Good. I'm excited to see you guys too up there.
Are you driving up? Are you flying up?
I'm flying up.
What time do you get
I'm
in?
going straight to Raleigh. I'm not doing a connecting flight. I know that's where you're about to go.
I ain't even thought about that. So you do have a direct flight?
Yeah, I do. I have a direct flight.
That's funny. What time do you land?
I think like 6, like just right before 7, so like 6:45, I believe. I have to double check that.
Okay, I'm not sure how far the airport is downtown, but well, good. I'm glad you're going to be there. So if you're brand new or if you've been with us a while and nobody has told you, there's a massive convention going on this weekend that we just wouldn't miss for nothing in the world. It's called The View. It's called A View from the Edge. And it's just so much fun to hang out with everybody. We always get incredible information. This year, Belle Krause, one of the things she's going to be talking about is her success with the seminar. Her numbers are just out of control with this seminar system that we've put together with estate planning that leads to people buying their own trust and just legacy building for their family. Her numbers are crazy. So that's one of the things I look forward to hearing, because she's got like a whole hour just straight her explaining how she's done it. But when we got leaders from all over the country, not to mention a lot of times we have as much fun and information as at dinners and breakfasts with everybody as we're meeting and kind of getting to know people around the country. It's a great networking opportunity. So if you're brand new and if you hadn't heard about this, I'm telling you, ask your upline about it, go on the ARC, find out the details. And believe it or not, every year it turns out there's 2 or 3 people that their manager didn't tell them or anything. And then they show up and I'm like, oh my God, this thing's crazy. So I'm glad you're coming up, Olivia, and I hope that we keep working every day until, we're Wednesday. We're last minute, all the way up till tomorrow night. We need to be trying to get one more person there. So Olivia, last time I had you sitting right here, you were telling me how you got into business. Give me a high level it's really for everybody else. I've heard it, but I want to remind me a high level what you were doing before, your sales experience, your education experience.
Yeah, so right before I got into the Alliance, I was doing vacation sales. I was doing telesales for timeshare packages. I did that for about 4 years. So I before I even got into the telesales with that, I actually had a little bit of an education. I went to trade school. I went to school to be a firefighter and a paramedic. I ran that career for about like 4 years from the age of 17 to about just shy of 22. Um, it wasn't really for me. I stepped away from that. I ended up resigning and I stumbled across the sales. I honestly did not think sales was going to be my niche. I knew nothing about it, never sold anything on the phone before. Got into that for a little bit and I just knew that like it was a good path. Like sales itself is a great place to make money. But I just wasn't sure if doing the vacations specifically is where I wanted to be forever. And I was working for a friend who had her own vacation room, and she actually was acquainted with my upline, which is Erica Gold, through social media. And she saw that Erica was like traveling all the time with you guys, always going on excursions, these, with the conventions. And my friend had reached out to Erica and was like, hey, like, what exactly do you do for work that you get to travel and, have fun and make money? And Erica had invited her out to meet her and Jason. And when my friend was out there, her car had broken down and she called me. She was like, hey, my car's not working. I need you to come pick me up. And when she gave me the address, it was to a house. And I thought it was so weird. I was like, why are you at someone's house right now? It's literally like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. We have work to do. And I drove out to go get her. And she was like, I want you to meet these people because I think this is something that you're going to like. So I sat and talked with Erica and Jason. And what really got me intrigued about working with the Alliance and working with people like Erica and Jason was, the flexibility of my schedule, being able to make a difference and, just complete financial freedom. So as soon as I had met Erica, she enrolled me into class right away because I wasn't licensed. She got me my NAA number same day, and she had mentioned to me, she's like, "Hey, look, I know it's super last minute notice. We have a convention coming up in about like a week. It's A View from the Edge, like actually around just 1 year ago today." And she was like, "It's $3.99 for the ticket. Would be awesome if you could come. I know it's last minute. If not, I understand." And I looked at my options. I was like, okay, I can go have a great time, learn something new, get super excited and get out of vacations. Or worst case scenario, I go to Colorado, have a great time. I might not like it, and then I just move on with something else. I went to A View from the Edge and was just astonished with like how excited everyone was to be there, how happy they were, hearing everyone's testimonials about like where they started and where they got to grow within the company. And that was something that motivated me to, change my path with you guys. And I stepped away from vacations about, I would say, not even a month after I got licensed. I came here and went full time. It would be August 1st of 2023. So it's almost a year that I've been here.
Didn't think sales would be for you.
I wasn't really sure, no. I was just so gung-ho about, the pre-hospital care and being in that field, because my stepdad, he was a fire chief up in Ohio where I was living before I moved to Florida. And I was tunnel visioned with that. And, some things had came up in my life where I had to step away and I just never thought sales was an option. And, someone presented me the opportunity. I was like, okay, I get to sit in AC and talk on the phone all day and get paid whatever. And then I discovered, oh no, I'm actually good at this. I'm going to stick this out. Now I need to find, what direction I want to take the sales and where I'm going to maximize my time and my money. And found you guys 4 years later. And I'm very thankful for that. I'm very thankful for you and Jason and Olga and Erica for showing me the opportunity.
And the person that you rode with and ended up meeting, Jason, did they get involved or are they not around?
They did get involved. I'm not really sure what their status is with the Alliance. It's not something that, I can speak on, so I don't know, but they did get their license and start around the same time that I did.
So I really want to stay on sales, but for recruiting, you got to understand most people that you find, like as you're working, a lot of times you don't find the person, somebody else finds the person. We call that depth. So it'd be like, Sam, you hire Marty, and then Marty brings on Tim, and then Tim brings on Jane. You can't predict Like if you just meet somebody on the street, or meet them at a grocery store, or meet them at a networking event, the odds are different than if you hire Tim and Tim hires Jane. Here's why. Because you're not recommending random people, you're recommending friends, and then they're recommending friends. So the pot or the pool of people that attend, they go to Walmart, the pool of people that are out here in these networking events versus, 250, 300 people, and you think about who would be best. So you've sorted through 300 to suggest Barbara or Jane or Timmy. So then if Timmy gets involved, then he sorts his 300. So really we've went through 600 people when you start going deeper. But when you go random, you're just at the surface. You're scratching the surface. It's not it's a pot of millions of people. Does that make sense? Kind of makes sense. So hiring somebody immediately, who do they know? Who do they know? Whether it's children, cousins, uncles, aunts, because sometimes I hire a 22-year-old and then he turns around and hires his 47-year-old dad. I'm not against that because now I've got two of them that are not the right age. The 22 is too young and 47 is too old. So they're both looking for me, that perfect person. Does that make sense? So, Erica Gold now has a great person who was under somebody else. And then Erica is Erica's immediate upline? Is that Jason and Olga? I think it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now Jason, and I don't think they found Erica Gold either. So if they did, she was just random. But now all of a sudden, too in depth. And now we got the same thing going on for you. How many people are you bringing up to the edge of you?
I have one agent coming.
You have one agent. Are they now they're listening, so are they a pretty good one?
Yes.
Yes. So the correct answer would be yes, it's the best one I've got in the whole country. Because they're the one.
Yes, it's the best one I got in the whole country.
Yeah, they'll be glad to hear you say that.
I'm sure Michael would love that.
I hope he's listening. Is he watching? Is he that good?
Yeah, he gets on every call. He gets on every call.
How's sales going for you, Olivia? Are you making money?
Sales is going good. It's a slow growth for me, but it's always moving upwards. I'm never, digressing with it. So I'm excited.
I don't have any stats in front of me. What have you won now are you tracking to win the all expense paid trip to Cabo San Lucas coming up?
Yeah, I have it on the arc.
Are you on track to win it?
I'm on track, yes.
How much, what's your volume? How much do you write a month?
Do you want to know what I did like last month or what I'm averaging?
Both, now that you give me that choice.
So last month alone I think it was 8,600 with me and my team. It was a little over 10,000.
Okay.
I would say my average is about 8 to 9,000.
Okay.
The last 3 months.
All right. And
February was my biggest month.
What's that?
February was my biggest month. Personal production wise, it was 15,000.
Nice. And so this is a full year for you.
So a full year that I got introduced to you guys. A full year of actually, being like starting to work and do the sales will be in August. So right after family reunion.
Okay. All right. And so are you paying your bills and able to pay to come to the convention and buy more books and more training and all that?
Yes. Yes. Even when I had first started and I wasn't, because the first two, I think I wasn't producing it. I made it a mission to get to convention. Whether I had 2 pennies to rub together or not, like I think it's super important to be there. But now I'm at the point where I don't have to think like that. I'm like, I could just buy the ticket every convention I've gone to. The day you guys announce it, I buy tickets, organize with Erica, when we do the flights in the hotel and get it taken care of as soon as possible.
I'm excited to see you. Do you buy a lot of leads every week? Ah, you went mute. Come back.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Now we got you.
Okay, yeah. The volume of leads I'm getting, I'm slowly increasing over time. So, I do the leads get some through President's Club. I work with my current clients that I have. I outsource different ways to get the leads. I get some through Integrity. So I have multiple sources of leads.
Do you have any idea how much are you buying, like a certain amount per week? Do you know?
I don't have those numbers, to be honest with you, no.
Do you have any, like, what do you call a standing order? Um, where you, a subscription? Do you have a subscription at all, or do you just buy them as you need them?
I buy them as I need them.
Okay. And so then what you're doing is just trying to gradually build up how many you're buying.
Correct.
You looking at that, can I give you $5 and they give you 10? How fast can you do it?
You kind of cut in and out. Can you say that again?
I said it's that thing where if you give me $5 and I give you 10, your only questions should be how quick can I give you $5?
Right.
Is it not coming in good with you yet? How about
You're
Julius?
kind of still cutting in and out.
Julius, is it coming in clear with you?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. Hang with us. Hang with us, Olivia. I want to come back to you, and especially if it starts coming in where I can ask you a couple more questions. Julius, I know Jeff Schultz found you, and I know you're working your butt off. What he tells me, you're really trying to get better. And always got just a lot of enthusiasm, great communication. So you're kind of guy, like Olivia, you're somebody everybody else is looking for. So how did you connect with Jeff Schultz, and how's the training been?
Yeah. So, well, first of all, thanks for having me on, Andy. I really appreciate I mean, I'm doing something good if I'm on here talking to you, so that's awesome. I found Jeff on it was a job search. I don't think it was LinkedIn. Well, like it was like a job page somewhere that he posted, and that's how I found him.
And your background, what kind of was sales position? I know you're an athlete.
Yeah. So when I finished school, I started a real estate investing company. I've done that for the past 4 years, 4.5 years. And I'm stepping away from that. I've had a bit of a strategic separation with my business partner. So while that's happening, while all that legal stuff is happening, bills still have to be paid while money isn't coming in from the business. So that's kind of why that's why I started this. So I had 4 years of, I guess sales experience when you think about it, just trying to sell the business, trying to buy homes at a discount, trying to I guess recruit investors to invest in our projects. So I guess a very basic, very raw form of sales with absolutely like zero kind of like training or anything like that. Just you know, throwing something against the wind and against the wall and hope it sticks kind of thing. And then I came here and it's been awesome.
You are a very humble person, Julius. Grew up in Australia, Australian military, served his country, walked on as a tight end at Bowling Green, started 2023, number 8 rookie in the country. And you're in Cape Coral, married, and y'all got one kid?
Yep, we have an 8-month-old baby boy.
8-month-old baby boy. So that'd be cool. So we got a almost 5-month-old grandbaby girl.
Yeah.
They kind of grow up together.
Yeah, exactly.
Do some fun stuff. She attended her first Final Four this weekend.
Oh, very cool. That's awesome.
4 months old, went to the Final Four. Your second.
Sorry about the loss, by the way.
We cried. We didn't cried. We almost over it.
That's right. I think your center, that big guy, he was the He was the personality of the men's Final Four, though.
DJ.
Everyone loved him. He was the best.
I think we should do DJ at family reunion, don't y'all think?
Yeah.
That's a good choice. I heard people come just to say, DJ Burns gonna be there. Autographs, baby. He gonna do a jump shot right in front of us. Not on my stage.
Yeah, I'll fall through it.
You got me off subject pretty easy there, man. But so did you play football? Did you play rugby or how you say it, football in Australia?
American football at Bowling Green. I played rugby for the first year, just because I couldn't qualify for the NCAA like GPA and stuff because I pretty much had to have 2 semesters of credits to establish myself as a scholar athlete, and then my second, third, and fourth year at Bowling Green, I was on the football team.
That had to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I'd never played before. So I was just learning from day one in a Division I program. It was really, really challenging. And as tight end, it's like you got to learn to block the 280-pound DNs and run with the 200-pound linebackers. So it's kind of you get the shit end of the stick either way you look at it. But it was awesome. It was a huge challenge. I'd definitely do it again. It was a huge growth aspect for me, and that's something that that kind of that drive and that growth that's what wakes me up every day, and that comes directly from my time at Bowling Green playing football, or just learning the art of all that.
So when did you graduate there?
It was May 2020.
So I said I can't. So I said we cried about loss, but I can't even talk about a win that we had that I think changed my life. I mean, I can't even think about it. So when you said that those years at Bowling Green just changed your life, right? Just getting the opportunity to do that in America. So the question, Julius, is that feeling. Can you figure out how to create that feeling here? And it starts, what they say, group momentum starts with personal momentum. Is if you get. So I can't even think about it, Julius. I can't think about it, or I'll just start bawling with passion. The question is, do you believe? That's it, Julius. Do you believe? People say it can't be that simple. Well, if you believe, then you're willing to work your ass off. That's the difference. If you believe, you're willing to read all the small print. If you believe, you're willing to go broke. You're willing to put it all online, credit cards, parents, kids, 401ks. Believers are the ones that win big. This is the craziest thing about it. Julius, that makes sense. Like getting the team to win. You remember having some of the players that just didn't believe.
Mm-hmm.
If you could get 11, so you got 11 on defense, 11 on offense, special teams, and usually every special team is different from kickoff to kickoff receiving to punt and punt receiving. But if you could get every person to believe that this play matters, not third down matters and the music gets loud, but this play matters. It's crazy. So, but that begins with getting you to believe. Julius, this make any sense? This is not just to you.
Yeah.
This is to my, I got
100%.
Because it's crazy how much belief matters. So what's your numbers, Julius? I know you're up there in the rookie, or I wouldn't have got you on the show. What are you averaging sales? What kind of leads are you getting? Let's give us your sales
Um,
world.
yeah, so I mean, I've only been in for two full months, like 2.5 months, 2 3/4 months, something like that. My first month was February, and I wrote, I think it was 17,000. And then I had a bit of I had a very tough March. Um, Kind of it dipped. It was about half of that, so it was about 9,000 is what I wrote in March, and then I should be bouncing back in April, which I'm looking forward to. I'm just trying to like work out the kinks right now,
So April is your
figuring out what
third
I did.
month
Yeah, yeah.
doing this.
Hmm.
17,000 and 9,000. You're trying to figure it out.
Hmm.
And you're in Arizona, right?
No, Cape Coral, Southwest Florida.
My bad. So you're in Cape Coral. Are you final expense leads, mortgage protection leads,
Nope,
IUL
that's
leads?
all final expense. So I'm getting. I've been doing a lot of beta testing over the last few months, trying to figure out which leads kind of vibe with me the best. What bank. Because right now I'm just trying to get as much back in my buck as possible to as I said, iron out the kinks and iron out the wrinkles of my process. And right now, I have I guess a healthy mixture of LPT, like the internet leads, and some bang bang leads. So I'm actually getting a lot. I'm probably getting too many leads. Actually, I'm getting about 50 leads a week total, and that's it's a lot. But I'd rather have too many than too little when it comes to, especially when it comes to setting 9, 10 appointments a day. You can't do that with 20 leads a week.
I know. You're learning a lot. And I know this. Let me just make sure you hear me saying Jeff Schultz is really, really good and
Hmm.
understands the concept. He gets it. You don't want to
Yeah.
spend more money than you make, and you want to make more money than you spend. And you also the logistics of if you're going to people's houses that you've got house after house after house, you don't want to be driving back and forth. There's nobody better. And then when it comes to selling virtual or selling with Zoom or some kind of a FaceTime, he's great at that. So you got great
Hmm.
coaching, and then you got Benny, who's really good, and then Brandon
Hmm.
Manley, who's really good. So you got great people.
Yep. Those are my top three. Those are my three speed dials that I call every day, multiple times a day. I call Jeff, Vinny, and Brandon.
So, and then coming up this weekend, you're going to hear something that they've all told you the same thing, but you're going to hear it from Megan Wood, or you're going to hear it from Brian Rojas or somebody, and you're going to like, wait, you're kidding me. And so especially because you want to, you believe it's going to happen, because when you believe, now you're more open to suggestions or ideas.
100%. Yeah, that's the
Um,
biggest thing, and that's something that when I was struggling in last month in March, it was bad. I'd have like multiple days a week, at least 1 or 2 days a week, where I was like, I went out, had 10 appointments, had no sales, just come home crying, all that kind of stuff. Just I'd call in Jeff in tears and be like, what am I doing? Like, I'm missing something. There's something I'm missing here that I was getting in the first month. And I think what I realized was that I was I was doing it myself. I wasn't leaning on people as much as I should have been, as I was when I first started. And then March, I was like, oh yeah, I've been doing this for a month. I had a really good first month, and bulletproof, all that kind of stuff. And then that was a huge reality check when I had a bad March, and that was just because I wasn't leaning on my team. I wasn't leaning on Jeff and Vinny and Brandon as much as I should have been. And that was a lesson that I had to learn. But it's team is just huge when it comes to the growth and development.
that is great advice. Probably more than one person out there that needs to hear that. 1 month of business, and I'm cocky. That's great.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it'll happen again at 9 months. It'll happen again at
Mm-hmm.
14 months. Just
Yep.
such a fun business or interesting business, but when you have people, I was having a conversation with this person just, I would say 18 months, might have been 24 months ago, and they had a dilemma, and somebody was asking to borrow $10,000 that they trusted. And I was like, I don't know if you should do it. And they were like, I got 56,000 in the bank cash. I go, you've been saving up. Yeah. I'm killing it business, issuing business. So you're netting enough money that you got 56,000. Yeah. And you trust these people beyond, I trust these people with all my life. I go, I don't understand. What's the holdup? You got the money, you trust them, you've known them all your life. They've done unbelievable stuff for you. Yeah, do it. So they did it. And I followed up. I said, hey, did they pay you back? Yeah, pay me back. Everything's good. So that's impressive. You know, I'm sure they're grateful. Yeah. Fast forward today, can't afford to come up to convention. But I just found out about it. You know why? Because they got very confident and cocky. And guess what? Most people, Julius, when they get like that and their business goes to hell in a handbasket and they're not making money, usually they go like the whole thing's not as good as it was. The mortgage protection is not as good. The leads, like from February, his leads were great, but in March, terrible. That's not the case.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or it's recruiting is terrible now. It used to be people would get in. Now they won't get in. Used to be people would tell you about their savings and you could move annuities, but now it's harder nowadays because the internet is harder. Like both. It's February to March. The whole world has not changed. Yeah, but I've been doing it 6 years. The whole world has changed. All right, whatever. But when people are, my whole deal is when I look around and I hear somebody else successful, if they're doing it, then one, I want to know what they're doing I'm not doing. What are you doing I'm not doing? Tell me. And then watching them, because sometimes when you ask them, they'll tell you, but it's not really it's their opinion of the way they're doing it. But when you see them do it, you sit right there and watch them, you know exactly what they're doing. Now you can compare yourself. Getting cocky and then not making a phone call. I mean, I was texting, find out about this, and I'm so going like, how could this be that? And I tell you, they skipped a TWC. They went to their manager's meeting and they skipped the TWC. Or they skipped this meeting, skipped my meeting, product meeting. They probably watch that every once in a while because you need to learn products. And then the activity call, nah, it's just what to do and same old thing over and over again. I don't need to hear it again. So then they, here and there, get watch a little bit. Then they quit going to their manager meeting because hell, he's saying the same thing I'm telling. So now they're coaching each other. The husband's telling the wife, here's what you should do. And then he's telling the wife. So they're coaching each other because they done got smart. And all of a sudden, they can't make it to convention. It's like, oh my God. And the upline goes, but good news, got 2 good people underneath them. But it's like, oh, they were doing so good. But they quit listening. I guarantee you ask them what book you're reading now, they'd be like, hey, I just finished. And I said, what? Be a lot of talking without the answer of the book they're listening to or their book that they're reading. So keeping that attitude, whether it be in football, whether it be in insurance, keeping that attitude of gratitude and attitude of, I got to figure out what I'm doing wrong. Somebody else has got to be screaming at me and coaching me. Julius, how's recruiting going? Are you attempting it at all? Have you found anybody? Have you been frustrated with it? Have you found some good ones?
Yeah, I guess I'll leave now. Thanks for having me, Andy. No, I'm kidding. I haven't been recruiting at all. Yeah, not at all. I know it's something I need to do, and I've talked to everyone about it. I just haven't. I've just been so desperate to try and figure my sales process out, and figure out what works and what doesn't. And I mean, maybe true, maybe not true, but if I just feel that if I take off one day of running, if I go from 4 days running to 3 days running, I just have that guy devil in the back of my head saying that one day that you're recruiting is the day that you're not making money running. And I know the recruiting is going to be happening soon, but yeah, I haven't done any any steps towards recruiting. I know I'm going to get my phone blown up after this. But yeah, no, just
Who do you think is surprised by it? You think Brandon's surprised that you're not recruiting? Spence, Vinny's who's gonna call you?
I don't know. No, I mean, I've had these conversations with Jeff, with Brandon, with Michelle Collin or Michelle Jones. And yeah, I actually had the flight back with from NatCon. I sat next to Michelle on the flight home, and she was like, "Why aren't you recruiting? Like, this is the perfect opportunity. You're so green right now, and there's no expectations for you to coach the recruits and for you to teach them because you don't know anything. So this is the perfect time for you to take them on with no responsibility." And I was like, "Yeah, no, look, I get it. Theoretically, that makes total sense. I know."
Well, if you come across the right people, I'm sure you're going to ask them. I think so. You didn't start out. You didn't bring a couple people on immediately. You came on board. You started to learn how to sell. Started going.
Yeah, no. As soon as I came on, I hit the ground running. Just sales, sales, sales. That's all I was doing. Just figuring out, calling Jeff and Vinny and Brandon 3, 4, 5 times a day. While I was in homes, in between appointments, trying to figure out what I was doing right, trying to figure out what I was doing wrong, and literally everything else took a backseat. Like, I haven't even worked out in like 3 months. Everything in my life besides my wife and son has taken a backseat just so I can figure this out. As you said, like, what are they doing that I'm not doing? I know I've only been in this for like 84 days or whatever it is, but what are these top producers doing that I'm not doing? And that's what I've been obsessed with finding out over the last 3 months. And yeah, that's just what I'm doing right now, is trying to figure it out.
Okay, to be clear, your Jeff Schultz knows you're not hiring, and he's not screaming about it. And Vinny knows you're not. He ain't screaming about it, and Brandon ain't screaming about it. I promise you, I'm not either. But I'm trying to get everybody to understand you're looking for somebody like this. If he starts, he's going to start recruiting, or he's not going to start recruiting. But the one thing for sure, he's selling. He come out of the gate 17,000 and then 9,000 right out of the gate. That's who you're looking for. So, Julius, it's going to be funny because you'll hire people eventually, and all they'll do is recruit 16 people, 17 people, 30 people, and then they'll tell you that really they hadn't been selling because they focused on recruiting. But if you look at the whole organization and nobody's selling because everybody's recruiting, we're at a loss.
Yeah.
So it's not, it's.
But the balance.
I say it's like this: sell, recruit, and build. Selling, recruiting, and building. Be careful, the order you pull them down. You know what I mean? Selling, recruiting, building. All right. See this? You got to keep. These are the 3 things. It will, like, for example, if I'm teaching you to play golf, and you're going to need to learn how to putt, and you're going to need to learn how to drive. You know how to be great at either one of them, but if you're great at both of them, there's a chance you're going to be a great person, a great golfer. There's a mid game, there's a sand game. All the games matter. People say, "Well, I'm focusing on what I'm really good at." I know, but your golf is more than one aspect. But there's nothing wrong with learning one, then learning the next. Nothing wrong with that at all. Take what you get. Advice. You've been through some hard knocks, Julius, in the first 2 months of selling. One, I think your hardest knock to people was, don't get cocky too quick. Whether it's 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, a year, don't get cocky. But what else in 2 months have you learned? Like, for example, what did you start doing differently the next month when you didn't check upline or you didn't call your manager? What was different? What have you learned?
Yeah, no, that's it. Is you can't do it by yourself. And if you do it, like, this is something that has, if it doesn't come easy to you, like this doesn't come easy to me, but I'm trying to learn it as I go. And if you try and do it by yourself and you'll get exhausted and you'll fizzle out and you'll just be another number.
What are some things you've learned, like not doing it by yourself, but what is something you've learned, like flipping the page? calling the cell phone. Give me something that's changed, something like, holy cow, I didn't know this, or maybe 5 things that have changed about, that have helped you become more effective.
Yeah, so I learned this a couple weeks ago when I was up in Tampa, at a training session with Michelle. She was telling me that, you know, when I'm building rapport, I was typically I was going very surface level, but I was hitting 7 or 8 different questions, one question deep, and I was going, oh, yeah, family, oh, cool, like your siblings, oh, your parents, oh, your kids, oh, your dog, cool, oh, what do you do for work? All this kind of, like, I was just going very surface level with a bunch of stuff. Instead, what she was saying, and I've been trying this the last week and a half, and it's been really effective, is going for one thing, which is why they're getting this insurance. It's either a spouse or it's kids. 95% of the time, it's spouse or it's kids. And then go on that, and then go 7 levels deep on that one small subject. And that way you can really find out what their needs are, find out why they're getting it, about what they currently have, what they want to improve on. Because they're not getting insurance because of their job, right? When they're working at USPS, they're not getting insurance for that. They're getting insurance for their kids who they want to leave it to. So so the first one was just asking like 6 or 7 levels deep on that one small thing. And that truly builds trust and builds rapport. That is really effective when it comes time to close. I'd say that's a pretty big thing. Yeah, another thing, again, like with where I am right now, I've just been white knuckling it so much, and I haven't had the time to kind of sit back and watch the dust settle and collect my thoughts and kind of look at my process, other than in between every appointment when I'm calling Jeff and Vinny and Brandon. I mean, off the top of my head, if it was going to be another thing, like something else, yeah, good question. Yeah, yeah, again, maybe ask me in a couple months. Maybe ask them, but
How
right now
about
it's
this?
tough.
Have you experienced people changing their mind or chargeback? I mean, you've only been around 2 months. Have people changed their mind and you're like, daggum, I thought they were locked in? Have you had any challenges with that? Have you learned anything about getting people to keep it? Or
That's a good reminder for me. So that was actually another thing. So that was the beginning. So the first one I said was the beginning of the appointment, and then right at the end, when you've filled out the application and they're happy, you keep reminding them about why they are doing what they're doing. About they're protecting their family. I have so much respect and admiration for what you're doing. Can you believe there's so many people around that just want to leave the bill to their kids? Like, can you believe that as a loving parent and as a provider and a protector of the family that would do that? And it's like, no, it's crazy. I can't believe they would do that, So kind of keep that going. And then as soon as you're done, as soon as either comes with an instant approval or it goes to underwriting, Jeff actually told me this when he was down a few weeks ago running with me, to kind of tie up the end, to make sure when we leave, they didn't think like, why did I just do that? A good thing to ask them is sit down, kind of like relax, put your hands on your knees and say, Mary, how do you feel about what we did today? How do you feel about what we did today? Usually 95% of the time they would say, I feel really good. I've been meaning to get that off my plate. So they're reinforcing to themselves what we've done today, and it was a good thing. And then a week later, I'm not going to get a chargeback or a cancellation. And that's been really helpful. That's what I found has been really helpful in the end, is kind of tying it up with them reinforcing to themselves why they did this.
this is big. This is big. It's big when people tell me it ain't me, it's the leads, or it's how I feel, all those blah, 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 when in fact, Julius is getting smarter and smarter and smarter on the details. That is, that's good stuff for you recruiters. Julius,
It wasn't me, it was Jeff. Don't give me the kudos. That wasn't me. I'm just stealing it from people.
Kudos for you to listen. That's the challenge, because that's what most people suffer, is that listening problem. Olivia, you're trying to get people to move that you're recruiting, and he's trying to describe getting people to move. And the movement is write a check. And the movement is keep that check good. The movement is don't quit. So getting people to not quit is a sport. Getting people to write a check is a sport. Getting people to get their insurance license is a sport. Getting them to come to the convention is a sport. Getting them to write business is a sport. Getting them to tell their friends about it is a sport. Okay, what got them to move and buy a check? He didn't go flat. He went deep. So getting this person to go to convention, going flat. He's got 2 sisters, 1 brother. His daddy's 51. His mama's 49. He's got a dog. He's got a cat. He used to have another dog. He's got a cousin who's in Amway. You see how flat that is? He knows everything about his person that he's trying to go to convention, but he's not deep in any other area. You with me? So if trying to get this person to go to convention, it's going deep. What Julius said was trying to get a check, you got to go deeper. You got to get them to explain. Now tell me again how you feel about what we've done so far. So if I'm Jeff Schultz or Manley and I'm talking to Julius, I'm over here recruiting. I'm not trying, so I got to get deeper with him to figure out what's going on. Like, and I've purposely not went deep on this subject, but there are some reasons behind him so crazy focused on making money. I think he gave us some hints when he talked about his former business and that's not going good. So, but I didn't press him, but I want you to know, Julius, my guess is Jeff and those guys know a lot more about the situation, which means it's deeper, which takes him to the convention. So getting a person to move is the same when it's selling or recruiting, but it's using the leverage. I think I'll do this with, let me think how I can not get in trouble the most. I think I would go with Archie by the least. Right here. Right here. So this guy said, I'm gonna try to think of all the ways I can say this. One of my consultants, one of my coaches, we were talking about leverage. And he said, if you have the right leverage, you can get people to move. And he talked about this police officer that said that oftentimes they had trouble with people when they had a DWI, or did something wrong, they locked their doors and they brace themselves. So get braced, like get your hands around the steering wheel, get around the steering wheel, get your legs all braced in there. And he said he's rolled down the window. He said he had no leverage. And you think he has no leverage, like how's he gonna get them? But he'd take a pin like this right here. See how that works, like that right there? And he just take that thing and he just put them right here on the nose like that. Can you get the idea? And just hold them like that. And he said, it's funny how they just come right on out of the car. You see, they don't get it, but you get it. You do that and you get somebody just put pressure right there. It's like the other day, not the other day, this weekend, we was out at the Final Four and we had some WWE on the big screen. I mean, you can't go out to the Final Four and not watch some WWE. That's SmackDown or Legendary Weekend. It's a big weekend. Mm-hmm. And I asked Adam Katz, I said, you know how bad the figure 4 work hurts? He said, yeah, you put that on me one time. It'll kill me. So if you've never had the figure 4 put on you, you don't know what it feels like. But that's leverage. Yeah. And you say, well, it's fake. Somebody jump all through the air and land on you like that right there. They brace themselves with their knees and well, which one do you want to be? You want to be the one underneath and I brace myself, or you want to be the one jumping on top of somebody where you brace yourself? Either one of them jobs in WWE, there's some leverage. I'm talking about leverage. You with me? That's why they jumping off and can you see, would you get out of the come right out of them? Absolutely. I mean, especially if it's a big guy, you just try to, you do it on yourself, you won't do it. You got to get somebody that don't like you that much to show you. So leverage to get a check, leverage to get somebody to move. So you're asking them to explain how they feel about buying the policy. What it does is they hear how they feel and they hear it, like it comes out. This is real stuff. If you've ever got deep into selling, Julius, they hear it. It goes in their ear. So now you've told them and they've told them. Ideally, you have a secretary call and follow up, and they tell them, get them to say the same thing. Now 3 people, you with me? Get them saying it over. But let me tell you who they trust more than anybody. They trust themselves. So if they hear themselves say it, now they have heard it from the most trusted person in their life. So if you're talking to an agent trying to get them convention, ask them to explain why they should go. So even if they've said, I'm leaning not going, why should you go? Then when they hear it from the most trusted person. And then you get deeper about finances, deeper about what they're trying to accomplish, on and on. This, Julius, what I'm trying to reinforce is what they've already told you. And I'm trying to transcend it over into recruiting. All right.
Yep.
So one more thing that should transcend. The biggest thing that I think Jeff and the whole team is probably, I've not discussed your sales or any of that. My guess would be they're like, bro, you're missing some big opportunities. There's money out there you're not finding. There's some big IUL policies we can write. Because you already spent this amount of money on leads, you already have so much time, you're already with them. But when you're with them, your eyes have to be open looking for more money. Am I right? Are you hearing a little bit of that being coached?
Yeah.
Because they think you're missing opportunities, right? They believe that there's more out there.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to squeeze the juice of the lead. You know, when you're there and you fill out the final expense app, then it goes to the emergency response system and referrals, and it goes to any sort of, if they have grandkids. I've always floated the idea of setting their grandkids up with a tax-free investment and retirement account, being the IULs, and it's always looking for the next thing to try and get all kind of 4 quarters of that lead. And yeah, most of the time they say no. Most of the time they're already maxed out with their budget because they're on fixed income. But I don't know, you gotta give it the respect it deserves by asking them all the questions, especially since they already trust you, and that you're in their home sitting down. They've already given you their social security number. You know, that's the most personal thing in people's lives, along with their bank account information. They've already given it to you. So why not just go the extra step and try and look after their grandkids or their great grandkids,
So,
or like Medicare or something like that.
so what I'm hearing is, yes, they are preaching this to you, like as in, yes, you're missing
Yeah.
opportunities while you're out there. So keep this in mind. You're talking to grandma and grandpa and you're saying, hey, let me show you this bank you can build for your grandchild. Okay. It's not a bad question. Here's another question you can be asking, and I'm not your sales guy, but here's the question, grandma and grandpa. Have y'all heard about, like, every single grandparent that I'm dealing with is doing this be your own banker for their kids? Every single one of them are doing it. Have y'all heard about it? Has anybody told y'all about it, one of your friends? Or let me tell you about this be your own banker. There's a difference in the way you're putting it out there. And I'm not your greatest salesperson in the world, whereas Schultz is. So he's going to be described. You tell him what you ask, because what you ask oftentimes determines what you get, or how you ask. Okay, so here was my thing, Julius. You're out there and you're doing your presentation. You've got peripheral. I always said, if I see bourbon, I see 2 different kinds of liquor, I'm knowing there's more money in that house than they tell me, because they got money to afford that and leave it on the shelf. So I know, on my peripheral is seeing stuff, pictures, military pictures, ribbons, awards. I'm going to be attracted to that because a couple things. One, I'm going for referrals, but Julius, I'm already there. And if I could get me another athlete in my business. Now, I don't want broke person, fixed income, ain't talented, ain't skilled, but I see their nephew walks through and he's in uniform, whether it's a baseball uniform, rugby uniform, or United States military, Marines, he walks through, I'm like, or if his hair's cut like a Marine, I'm like, you with me? So I'm Julius, does that make sense? Like, you're there anyway. You're there anyway. There's this much time in your life. Referrals. That's a referral, and you're already there. So, in other words, why would you not try to recruit a 27-year-old coming out of the military? Went to college, then he went to the military 4 years. Whew, he walks by. How do you not pursue that? So now I went from, I don't care if he recruits or not, could care less. Then I did this whole scenario about why would he walk by a talented, perfectly fit person for his bit. Like, I don't care if he recruits or not, but please God, if you're sitting there, get referrals to get more free insurance sold. And by God, if you're sitting there and they fit the scenario, how could you resist telling them about the business and telling them about Jeff and telling you, does that make sense, Julius?
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, have I sold him at all? Has Jeff sold him at all? You with me? Because the very first person that he gets could be the greatest thing that we've ever hired in this company. Think about that, Julius. What if you hired the greatest person? Julius, like, I'm the greatest person. Yeah, you are, Julius. And we want another greatest person in the world. What if you got two greatest ever in the company, Julius? Wouldn't that be crazy? If you started, I don't know. Hey, what is your talk to people about what you do? What's your job? How long you been here?
Yeah, so I'm a recruiter here. My name's Archie. Been here, I want to say 7-8 months now. A little bit of background. So I went to Coastal Carolina, played D1 soccer there. Ended up taking the pro route, played some professional indoor soccer as well. Did that for about 1.5 years. 23 years old, my knees started feeling like I was 45 years old. Decided I needed to get a job. So went on ZipRecruiter, typed in sports on the search bar. I got a sports-minded individual pop up from Mr. Claymers. So applied there, gave me a call. First thing he said was get on down here to Burlington, and sat in on a Friday call actually. That was where I met you for the first time and just heard what you were talking about, lit me up, and excited ever since.
Sports-minded individual.
Yeah.
Let's run that ad again.
Oh, we've got a lot of them. So we're running ads on ZipRecruiter as recruiters. We got about 25 of them running on Monster as well now. But a lot of my ads are sports-minded individuals. My goal is to find someone kind of like in the mold of myself or a Julius, try to bring the next one.
Hey, I saw Victoria was coming in. Victoria Perry.
Yeah, she is.
I'm fired up about that. You reckon she's watching the show?
She's always open right now. She says she's watching.
She says she's watching. Hey, Victoria, see you this weekend. Think about college athletes. She got one more year.
Yeah.
Of eligible basketball.
That's right. She does.
I don't know if she's gonna play or not. Got to get a master's degree. That portal. Get somebody give her a free master's degree. Wouldn't hurt. So how are you doing? Are you getting anything? Soccer? Anybody? Baseball?
Yeah.
Any more,
We got a
more
couple
ones
athletes that we're working with. One in particular, Kirk Jennings. He's played baseball at Marshall. He's coming to the convention as well. Up in West Virginia.
How old is he?
26.
Nice. So I got an idea. Why don't you try to run a couple times and say soccer or football? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
More specific, and see if that messes them up. Because sometimes the sharper the arrow, the faster it goes in.
Yeah. So
you're asking for business-minded, sports-minded, soccer-minded. So
yeah.
You say, well, but it's not as many people that only do soccer, but it's a sharp arrow. It's a weird thing I'm trying to tell you is like sometimes the more specific people will bite they'll jump on it because it's soccer related or
Yeah.
football related. You could, I don't know how you make it more clear that I'm interested in people that play with the round ball. Yeah. Yeah. Just try it because it could actually be better than sports minded. We'll see
Yeah.
what happens. And then I almost want to guarantee you somebody texted me, what about baseball? Can we use that? Yeah, yes. You can say that baseball minded. If I get basketball. Okay. All right. So what is talk to me about, or appointment schedule for you? Do you set your own schedule? How long do you talk to people when you're recruiting?
Yeah, good question. So we set our schedules typically a couple of days in advance. I like to at least. So pull a bunch of ZipRecruiter respondents, pull them into a database and put them in a spreadsheet. Filter them through, shoot them text messages, phone calls, set up times. 15-minute time slots is what we'd like to do. So 15 minutes on the phone with them to 20 minutes, depending on how good they are.
Are you sending out your calendar and asking them to sign up? Or are you trying to text with them and get them on the phone and then book an appointment?
Right.
Like,
So
help me with that.
yeah, so we have a calendar that we have licensed agents that will be booked in through President's Club, as well as shooting out text messages through an app called Haymarket. So I will take all my ZipRecruiter, all my Monster applicants, I will take their numbers and I will shoot them a text message saying, hey, looks like you had applied on ZipRecruiter. When are some times that you're free to talk? As soon as I get a response, I'm putting them in my calendar. I like to at least double book, but hopefully triple book each 15-minute time slot so that if someone doesn't pick up, I always have someone that I'm talking to. There's always someone to call, there's always someone to talk to.
So some appointments are already booked for you and at 10 o'clock, you want
Right.
to talk to somebody at 15.
Yeah.
And then you're also trying to jam that day up.
Yeah.
So
So
you call it like a couple of days of just jammed up,
Yeah.
getting appointments set, and then a couple of days of just talking to appointments
Yeah.
that were set.
So yeah, so typically what my morning consists of is following up with some of the agents that I'm working with. I'd say for the first hour or two, I'm calling up, I'm seeing how people are doing, what their schedules are looking like, how I can help them better. Rest of the day, I've got booked up from 10 onwards with just appointments. The great thing about triple booking is you have the resumes there, so you can look at people, and you can see which one seems more exciting. You can choose who you want to talk to.
And you don't mind hanging up
And I
quickly
don't mind,
if you
exactly.
got another resume to talk to.
Exactly. And that's the key when you're talking with people, is filtering through as quick as possible. Is this someone that we can work with? Is this person going to do something? And just moving on until you find the one.
So to high level, that you understand, he's a recruiter, works. So basically he's helping me recruit. Okay. And I've got my team. You can do it yourself. You don't have to hire somebody to do it. But one of the things that I found that I felt like they felt bad if they didn't talk to somebody and give them a fair shot. And some of the people are just really not responsive, intelligent, and you're frustrated talking to them because you want to give them a fair shot. So then if everybody gets a fair shot, they had no time for really good ones. So then they didn't have time to get back to the good people. So when I gave them permission, and this is my version of it, so I want to hear if this has helped, and maybe you say it in a different way, I told him, I said, it's okay to not return every phone call or every text or the person that is, they're really low on your part. Like if you think they're terrible,
Yeah.
you don't have to waste so much time with them.
Yeah.
Like if you're a soccer coach, don't spend time with the ones that are terrible. Try to find the ones that can kick the damn ball.
Yeah. And I think that was something that I took from when you told us that, is learn how to prioritize our time better, how to manage our time better. There's only so many hours in a day, and you're talking to so many people. Manage your time more wisely. Talk to the people who are going to do something for us, whether it's selling or recruiting. You feel like, you said one thing you did say was don't forget about those people. If the other people that aren't as important, don't forget about them. If they text you, text them back. But if person over here that you don't like as much is calling you, and then a Kirk Jennings, for example, who I really likes calling me, I'm picking up Kirk's call, you know, and I'll get back to them when I have time later with the other people.
So now, hopefully with that, it gives you the sense of if your basketball team wins, you're the coach, you recruited some good people.
Right.
If your team is getting clobbered, you're the coach.
It's a poor reflection.
Yeah. So if you hire and if you go around try to recruit every kid in the country, you might end up with some bad kids.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're only going to recruit the good kids, you more likely become at least in the middle of the pack. You ain't gonna be last in the convention. All right. I got more for you, but that's very helpful. We'll get you back up. So Archie will be at convention the whole time. He's there 24/7. So find him. You can ask him what we do in our home office, copy, steal, swipe, anything you can learn. So all right, give him a hand. Good job. All right. Amanda and Sam, I'm trying to come up here, and Amanda sit right here. And these guys, I purposely wanted to invite them on the show. I didn't expect. I was happy when I saw y'all. I didn't expect you here, but y'all, I'm glad you came in. Hope you get some good stuff out of it.
Thank you for having us.
So what, well, tell us how you got involved.
So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Amanda Maldonado. It was about a year ago. Yeah, exactly a year ago. This is my husband, Sam. We had just returned from Italy, and my daughter was like, "Hey mom, I'm getting a promotion. Do you guys want to come check it out? We're going to be heading to Denver." And I was like, yeah, it's like, we could do that. Cause we're pretty much just kind of spending a lot of time traveling, just doing a lot of things. So we went to Denver, and I lost my mind. I just was completely blown away by what I'd seen. I had been watching my daughter and Jake, Veronica Ray Bradley's my daughter, Jake Joseph is my son-in-law. And I'd been watching them, but didn't really understand anything about what it is they were actually doing. And I mean, if I'm being honest, half the time when I would hear them working, I thought they were watching Talladega Nights. That's what I heard. So, but we were just basically blown away by what we saw. Absolutely blown away by what we saw. Background on myself. I went to school for double major computer science, computer engineering, minor in electrical engineering, and started several businesses, but really struggled to get that wheel going, to figure out how to embed that wheel, figure out how to keep it going. Just always by myself. Several businesses, cell phone store, small engine repair shop, a baptismal store. Then I found real estate and decided I was going to stick with that and run with that. So did that for quite a while, and then God has a pretty good sense of humor. Back in 2006, we were actually traveling back from my son's soccer tournament, and it was raining, and we rolled 6 times at 70 miles an hour. So I sustained a pretty significant brain injury and a spinal cord injury, and pretty much lost it all. Everything I had built up, everything I had done my whole life. I was a single mom raising 2 kids, and got sidelined. So it's been difficult. Then later on, met my husband here, the love of my life. He's an incredible human being, incredibly supportive, and we got married. And yeah, hardships didn't end there. A month after we got married, he had a stroke, and then a second stroke, and then a third stroke. So really for 14 years, I just devoted my life to healing. That's all I could do. And praying, just constant praying and constant healing. Just asking for God to just please restore me, restore my abilities, restore my body, and my mind. And so thank God that did happen. And so I guess it was probably about 4 years ago. That's when I said, okay, that's enough of that. I want something. I've always wanted something. I've always known that I want something for my life. So I got my license back. I got my real estate license back. and was having a great time, enjoying myself doing that. We were traveling a lot, doing a lot of things, and then we went to View from the Edge a year ago. And wow, just absolutely life-changing. That fire that I had that was kind of just in there smoldering a little bit, you know, I thought, okay, well, I had my shot at life. Life wasn't very kind to me, and I worked really hard. That was a nice run. It's going to be what it's going to be. But it literally made me realize that I am not done. I am not done. I have so much more that I can do. And man, Mark Aceta just, I don't know, he lit something up in us. And I think what I was most impressed with, Andy, Jane, what you all have created, you are handing people a blueprint to success. And it's like you say, if you just believe, that's all you have to do is just believe. And it gives you kind of the ability to become obsessed. What do you want? Really, really, what do you want for your life? Right? Time is not always on our side. Time isn't guaranteed. Tomorrow isn't a guarantee. So for me, what do you want? And my God, we are being handed the tools on how to get it. I was just here, 3 weeks ago?
Mhm.
That estate planning seminar. Wow, it is beyond incredible. And so I know, without a shadow of a doubt, I know that if you plug into the system and you just put in the time, it's time. It's a lot of time. It's work, to be clear. It is an incredible amount of work. But what do you want? And I know that you say that people can make the money that you make.
Mhm.
Just make it faster.
Gotta make it faster.
And yeah, I'm coming up on 48 years old, so I know I don't have 20 years to figure things out. So I'm just kind of moving forward fast and furious, and it's okay. Mess up, fail, make your mistakes, learn, and move on. And I'm just so grateful to the entire team, because Jake and Bray, oh my goodness, they're if you could just print out our call logs, you know, because I want to learn this, I want to do this, I want to do this fast. So I'm reaching out and asking as many people that will give me answers. There isn't a TWC that I miss. There isn't an activity call that I miss. We have our Monday and Thursday meetings. I don't miss. Jeff Bright has been an incredible resource for me, and I'm so grateful. I've learned so much about myself. I've learned so much about how to interact with other people. Stumbling over this brain injury has been definitely a challenge, but I'm here to kick some butt and try to take some names and just really learn all that I possibly can.
So, what is your typical sales in a month? How much are you selling? Are you on track for the Cabo?
Oh, I'm gonna go to Cabo. I'll
Okay,
be
alright.
in Cabo. Yes.
I'm gonna
So
make sure she goes to Cabo. We go to Cabo.
we're going to Cabo. So here I've got numbers. Brain injury memorization just doesn't favor me anymore. But basically, I wrote my first app July 21st. July 21st through December 31st of 2023. My hierarchy did a total of 152,242. 68,000. Yeah.
152,000.
68,409 of that was my personal pen. It was between 5 unique writers. 83,833 was what my team did. In terms of recruiting for 2023, I started in July. In terms of recruiting, I was able to fast track 19 people, get 7 carrier contracted. As a hierarchy, we did 29 and 9 carrier contracted. So, you know, I've listened a lot to Fabian and Andy, and I hear the numbers and I see the possibilities. And so for me, get there and just get there fast. I know that this year I've fast tracked 24 people. I've gotten 16 people carrier contracted. as a hierarchy, we've fast-tracked 33 people and had 18 people carrier contracted. Me personally, my interview style, I have a college ruled notebook, just a plain old notebook from Walgreens. And every single person I talk to, I put their name and I put their number and I put notes about them. And I have filled it up back in front of every single page. And that total to date, there's 311 people in there. And it's notes. I mean, for me, recruiting is a lot like being in the home. You know, what you're finding out what's important to people. You're finding out who is it that they're trying to protect when you're in the home. And for me, recruiting, the people that I have developed the best relationships with in recruiting are the people that hey, what is it that you want for your life? Oh, you too are wanting better for your family. That's great. Let me show you what it is that we have that we can get there. You're telling me that this is something that's important to you. I'm telling you, maybe I personally can't give it to you, but we have an enormous team of incredible human beings that can make this possible. So for me, that's what recruiting is. I've got 12 people coming to, well, I've got 9 committed, fully committed that are coming to be from the edge.
9 committed. You hoping for them other 3?
I'm bringing them up. If I have to go pick them up personally and drag them.
Let's say 12. Just say 12.
Yeah.
So you got 12 people coming. How's your sales this year? January, February, March. How's the sales looking?
Let's see here. Got it all written down. So I'm super excited about the seminars that are coming up. Let me see. Total hierarchy production, we're at 26,470. 5,340 of that is my personal. 21,130 is the rest of them, and that's 10 unique writers. I've got some stuff in the pipeline, and I'm super fired up about the trust seminars that are coming up.
Okay. Do you have a trust seminar book?
May 14th and 16th.
Hey, who's doing? Are you partnering with anybody or just you?
Jake and Bray.
So Jake and Bray.
Myself, Jake and Bray are
Isn't
gonna be
it
doing
cool to be working with them?
that. Again, a dream,
I know.
just an absolute dream.
I agree. Well, Sam, you said the convention just was big for you. What got under your skin and
Life changing. Well, first, I'll tell you a little bit of my background, and you probably know most of it. You all, I have 3 life-changing events happen to me in my short, almost 58 years here on Earth. One, not long out of high school, I joined the military, and I came almost 30 years, and it was great. That was that. During that time, I managed to get my bachelor's degree in professional arts for Embry-Riddle. And on my way out the door, you know, I was sick, didn't know what was going on, but I woke up in the hospital bed, and my beautiful wife standing over me and don't make sense of stuff. But that's 2. The third one was a view from the edge. No more pity party, feeling sorry for myself. I went to this thing, and my goodness, I tell you this, from here on out, I will surround myself with people like yourself, smart, successful people, because it's, you know, I need that. And wow, to look to have a different outlook on life. Everybody can do it. Everybody. Now, I'll tell you this, I'm not in the business right now. I'm still in recovery, but I'm in the team. And what else she needs help with, I'm on it. Whether, you know, keep new recruits online, send out hotspots, you know, notifications, go to those hotspots, make sure they show up. I'm there. I'm in.
you're in, bro. If you're doing that, if you got somebody doing that, you're in business. It is more than half your
1,000%.
business.
She got,
1,000%.
she got like 50 people in my phone right now that
He blows up on it.
I blow them up, I call them and what's going on or what, you know, and so on.
So who's a couple of your favorites that are coming in?
I've got somebody here local. His name is Kesu, and he's just an incredible man. He loves his family. He wants more for himself.
Where's he coming in from?
He's in Durham, so he's
Close by.
Yeah, he's close by. So he's coming in. I've got Danny Shorty, who's coming in from Virginia. He actually was in Arizona, and his job had him relocate out here to this part of the neck of the woods. So he just kind of had to do a Control-Alt-Delete on his life, and now he's settled. So he means business. He was at the trust convention as well.
You got some young kid from NC State.
Oh, you've heard already. News travels fast. Yes, I have Mr. Keegan Mayfield.
Well, here's the thing. Keegan's friend is Cody, who sells me tickets.
Yes, Cody is his fiance, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Cody's texting me, telling me about them fired up, and I was like, who are you hired by?
Yeah.
And she's like, Amanda. And because they were trying to figure out how to get to the view. And I was, rather than saying I'll help you, I was like, who's your upline?
Yeah.
And then before, I could even answer back, they go, oh, they're working with us, they're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
They're gonna be here.
I'm super excited.
So
They're
will Cody be there?
amazing. Oh, yes.
All right.
Yes, he's an incredible person. I'm so excited to meet him and Cody and to get to spend time with them. And something I've learned through recruiting, I've got to pick your brain, aren't you? I've got to spend some time with you because for me in the beginning it was just like, we'll give everybody a shot, and no, it's not like that at all. And this is something I told Keegan was man, I really had an incredible connection with you, and it's great. We got to have this long drawn out conversation and figure each other out, and hey, tell me some cool things about you. And it was reciprocating, and you've taught us over and over again, in order to be interesting, you have to be interested. And it's not about just talking all the time. So it's just been an incredible learning adventure. So I've got Keegan and Cody are going to be coming. I've got Kesu is coming. He's out there just doing as much as he can. I've got Danny Shorty coming. I've got Victor coming from Maryland. I love all my agents. I really do love my agents. And the ones that are coming is probably the people that I have built the best relationship with. It's about relationships.
So if you could just pull that out of the whole seminar, the people that are coming, it's probably the ones you got the most relationship with. Hey, am I supposed to give away cash today with CFG?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Who's my person? Hmm?
Mike's coming.
Anybody can do it. Anybody can. My spinner. Who's my spinner? Who's my spotter? You my spotter?
Yeah, we got him.
Ah,
Are you gonna do that fake thing again?
I might. You like it? I like it. All right, we give away. CFG is giving away cash, boys and girls. The biggest amount of money is going to be given at a view from the edge.
Yes.
You straight? Maybe it's going to be a lot of money given away. We have a cabin 90. We got a cabin trip. We got a $2,500 cash. Got a lot of money. CFG, and the way you get in the lottery to win with CFG is every single app you write is a chance to win. So first we're shooting for. Now we'll do that noise. Do that noise again. Wait a minute. This is what
Okay,
you
there's your
would have
fake.
won. One fake. Okay. This is not. This person don't win, but if it was live, then they would win. 641. Let's see who would have won. 641. They ain't written a lot of apps. They didn't have 641, but they did write one.
That's not
Naya
true.
Paredes.
Huh?
That's not true.
641.
Megan Wood could have had her 10th policy was number 641 app submitted.
Oh, I got you.
Mhm.
All right. Who was it?
Tania Paredes.
Hmm?
Tania Paredes.
Tania
Paredes.
Paraded.
Sorry.
Paredes.
You would have won. I'm gonna put you back in there.
Oh,
You
yeah.
gotta put her back in there. Okay, this time for real, for live.
Ellie, you should be.
Hold on a second. I want this person. If this was you, 414, you would have won too. But who would that be?
John Beverly.
Who?
John Beverly.
John Beverly. Shoot. But I got you back in there. Chill.
Are you ready?
He's,
For real, for real?
for real. This is a winner. How many we drawing?
3.
3. You're not going to do one at a time.
Okay, 1.
All right. 553. You are a winner. $100.
Emily Katz.
Emily Cash. Live for real. No kidding. 333, baby. Trinity.
Megan
this?
Wood.
Megan Wood. And ooh, 33333. Got a 33. What's the odds of that? Oh, I'm betting somebody. Nice one. McNice one. Yoo-hoo. Nice one, winner, baby. All right, CFG's always giving away money, and now their term product, you can convert it so you make all your commit. Here's the other thing. I take this back to Julius. You understand, Julius? It's like with football. It's called angles. So when the guy's running for a touchdown, you don't run straight at the guy. You get him an angle based on his speed and your speed. And if you optimize it, every split second matters. Okay. So if you write a policy knowing that 2 years from now you're going to rewrite it, you're going to get paid 2 times. So having that concept down, and then when you get referrals, and then when you learn how to say things like, did you hear what every single grandparent I've ever dealt with, here's what they're doing for their children. Because people want to do what other people are doing. So all your policy, everything you do in February and March, Julius, you're in February and March next year, you still own all these connections, these relationships. This blows my mind if people understand this. If the first year you make $120,000, you should be going like, oh my God, because it should layer and go from 120 to 160. Or if you're only doing 40 grand, you still should go 40 grand, 60 grand, 90 grand. You should get smarter as you go, unless you take that attitude of, I got it. I got this now. I don't need to plug into the calls. I don't need to listen to the audios. I don't need to read the books. If you want your butt kicked from somebody that don't know you, this book, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, will kick your butt for you anytime. Anytime you feel depressed, anytime you feel down, anytime you think it can get worse, read that book, How to Stop Worrying and Stop Living. And it's not going to be nice to you, though, but it'll make you feel better. It's kind of tough love that really I can't give you, but that book can give you. Olivia, you with me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Am I coming in loud and clear yet?
Yeah, for the most part. It's like even my video's coming in and out, so sorry about that, but we'll work with it.
We got you loud and clear. So if you can understand this question, you're gonna wrap us up and take us home. This is what everybody's living with. Don't mess it up, okay?
It's a lot of pressure, but lay it on me.
Okay. So you decided to come up here the other day and spend 2 or 3 days. You and Erica Gold come up. You were asking a million questions. We were beating you up on a lot of things. So of those things, what did you go back and change? Like when you went back, you changed, and what results are you getting? If it's 2 things you changed and the difference in results.
That's a really good question. So one of the things that I changed was definitely like my outlook on my progression. I would spend quite a bit of time talking with you and also Jeff Wright, and I got a lot of knowledge from both of you, and just, how my mindset is going into certain things. Like, I'm very quick to jump down my own throat and beat myself up about something. And sometimes it's okay to do that so we can recognize the issue that we're having so we can move forward. But you can only beat yourself so much, you don't want to beat yourself to a pulp. And that was an issue that I've had, is just constantly drilling myself into the ground. And, after talking with him and you and just learning different things, and instead of being so negative about, where I'm going wrong, I learned to be like, okay, this is an issue. I've addressed this issue. Now, this is what I can do to change it. That's the one thing that I'm changing and learning to be better about, continuously changing that. The other thing is when I had spoken to you about the recruiting. You talked about how to get one person from one side to another with motivation. And when you talked about it, even here today, not being so surface level, that's where my issue was before I came up and spoke with you in person. I was very surface level with, the agents I was trying to bring in, be like, yeah, this is great, and this is what we do, and whatever. And I learned from you, no, it's not about specific, like, the system's great, and we need to follow it, but, like, it's more talking about the culture that we bring here, and that's what's going to attract people, not the commissions, not the system, not how we do things, because there's so many different insurance agencies out there, like you've told me yourself. But what matters is, the people that we have here and being around the people that are doing it. And I believe that with us, we are super saturated with amazing people to coach and mentor us. And that's where I change how I'm getting people motivated to start with us, is beating up the coaching and mentoring and the training and the conventions. And I wasn't tackling that the way I should have when I first started recruiting. And I'm seeing a change with it.
That's two huge things. We'll wrap up with that. Great job. Nice spending some time with you, Julius and Olivia and Erica Gold. I see your numbers you're posting up there. The whole Jason and Olga business is just blowing up, and Schultz and the Manly organization and Vinny, they're blowing up, finding great people. Jake and Beret, we keep hearing about them, and now Sam and Amanda keep popping up for recruiting. They're finding great people. You know, it's one of those things where you're fishing. How fortunate is it you're talking to a person from Arizona, right?
Mexico.
From New Mexico, having a conversation with Raleigh, who's dating somebody that I already have in my cell phone number. It happens all the time. It's just the more times you fish, the more times you pick up the phone. Next thing you know, you hire somebody that lives right next door to Mike and Noel Leventovich, and you hired them, but they're right next door. And it's like, how'd this happen? Planting a lot of seeds. You never know what's going to happen. So, all right. Thank y'all for plugging in. Can't wait to see y'all. Let's see, Thursday. We will have a product training tomorrow. We will not have an activity call on Friday because we're all going to be in Raleigh, North Carolina, hanging out with Mark Cassetta and a lot. Oh, and Jeff Wright. Jeff, come up here and say hey. Wrap it up, man. Jeff Wright. Everybody's calling you that. Jeff Wright's going to be in Raleigh. So,
Did you have a good time?
we had a blast. We've had so much.
You know, I
fun.
saw you on national TV.
We were on
I
television.
was sitting there, I sit down between calls, and I was like, holy crap, there's Adam, there's Andy. I'm like,
Did you see Ada?
I saw everybody. They showed
Yeah.
everybody. It was like a drone go over top of you.
Yeah,
Right in the
Spencer,
beginning.
Spencer was holding Ada up in the air, and they got her on the jumbotron. So she's first time she's ever on a jumbotron. Well, when she was, I gotta write these first things down.
4 months at the Final Four.
Yeah, we had a blast.
Good, good.
Yeah.
You look like you did. Well, coming to any convention, and this convention is unlike any of the ones we ever have, right? It's so different. Just don't just sit there and absorb stuff on the breaks. Reach out to some of these people. I mean, that's the value of coming to a convention. Get to know those people you've never met. Don't hang out with the people that you always hang out with. Go to lunch with somebody different. Pick their brain. I mean, just like we talk about planting seeds, you can find some people at these conventions that are just, they're doing stuff that you never thought about doing. They've got some strategies you've never thought about. They're resources that you're not tapping into. And there are your fellow agents. So I would encourage you to go reach out to people, sit down with them, just have a conversation. Just start having conversations on the breaks, at the lunches, at the suppers. Yes, absorb the training, but get up and use that time other than using the bathroom. I know you got to go do that. But hang out. The first convention I went to, remember you invited me, us like 2011, 2012, you had me come be keynote, right?
Mhm.
And I knew this place was different. I shouldn't say this, but I knew this place was different. I'm gonna go ahead and, say it. I knew this place was different. I never been to anything like this. You're gonna imagine it was in this building and I was up there talking and I wasn't used to them, screaming and yelling while I was talking because they acted like they were interested because I never had any people act like they were interested in what I had to say. So they were screaming woo, and I thought like Andy had paid them to do that, but really then he told me they didn't. I thought they were on drugs and they need to be drug tested. And I still like some of them need to be drug tested, but I went to the bathroom to use the bathroom. And these people walked in there with notebooks while I'm using the bathroom. Hey, can I pick your brain? I'm like, this place is different. I need the bathroom. This place is different. But that's what makes it so much fun, right? That's why we hang around. Thanks for having me up here. Good seeing you.
All right, brother. Guys, thank you so much for plugging in. It's going to be crazy in Raleigh. And from there, we're going family reunion. It's going to be nuts right here in Burlington, North Carolina. So,